Hi, welcome to Love Saranghae with Peter and Andrea. In the next 30 minutes, we'll take you on a journey into the exciting world of entrepreneurship, relationships, and the secrets behind achieving that coveted glow. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. Today's guest is a true visionary. Jen Harper is the award-winning founder and CEO of Cheekbone Beauty, a B Corp certified Indigenous-owned beauty brand that's changing the face of the cosmetic industry. From a kitchen table dream to the shelves of Sephora Canada and JCPenney across the U.S., Jen has built more than a company. She's built a movement rooted in sustainability, inclusion, and community impact. Named one of Entrepreneurial magazine's 100 Women of Influence, featured on Dragon's Den, and honored with a doctorate from the Goodman School of Business, Jen's mission is clear: to help Indigenous youth see and feel their immense value, all while creating sustainable, high-performance beauty products that don't end up in the landfill. Grab your coffee, settle in, and get ready to be inspired by the women behind one of the most meaningful brands in beauty today. Welcome.
Aw, thank you.
Nobody writes an intro quite like my wife, I tell you.
So nice. I know. I have all the feels. Thank you.
That's what I want you to feel when this show up to the best.
Oh, thank you. That is so nice. So nice.
Welcome. We're so happy and honored to have you here today. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so nice to see both of you again. I feel like we're really getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, old friends.
Yeah.
So, Jen, you have a really good founding story. I've heard it before and I love it, especially in light of people who are aspiring entrepreneurs who are looking to start something. But they may have imposter syndrome, or they may feel a little bit like, well, I don't have the education for that, or I don't have, the skill set of what I really want to do. So let's go back to the beginning and share with us what was the spark behind Cheekbone Beauty? How did it happen? And how did your Indigenous identity shape the early vision for your brand?
Yeah, we can definitely help anyone who's feeling not worthy, definitely worthy, because if I can figure these things out, I feel like anyone can. And that's the power of passion and I guess a dream. So literally pop out of bed, middle of the night dream back in January of 2015, 3 native little girls covered in lip gloss. How I know it was lip gloss, I have no idea. It was just one of those dreams that I remembered, because I'm not, how sometimes people talk about their dreams all the time and remember them? I don't remember dreams. Yes. I had a nightmare when I was 7 that I vividly remember because I was so scared. Like, it was like this bad guy called the Rope Man that I really remember, and that still haunts me. But these 3 little girls were giggling, laughing, brown skin, rosy cheeks, and I woke up that night, and obviously I will remember this dream till the day I die because it changed my life, right? Like, I was selling seafood. I was a sales rep for a seafood company, driving around Southern Ontario, speaking to chefs, restaurateurs, and retailers, and pushing my products of fish, smelly, stinky fish, nothing to do with the beauty industry. But after that dream, I was speaking to this on a stage a couple weeks ago, and it's just crazy that who thinks that they can start a business after a dream like this. And it's pretty wild that you can put all this work in and then something can happen. But completely naive to actually the space, the industry, what it was going to take, and all of the things. And I can certainly share an enormous amount of mistakes along the way for sure. But it literally started from a dream. But what I think it's kind of interesting and super important to understand, in particular in my case, like, I come from the food space. I have this dream, but I'm also have this other stuff in my personal life. So we're going to get really personal for a second. And 2 months before having that dream, I got sober. So I had battled alcoholism for many, many years, and get sober, have this dream, believe this is the next thing on my path. Like, I felt it. I was like, I'm going to start this cosmetics company. And then I also was learning, along with the entire country in 2015, about the residential school system. And that's literally what my grandparents both survived. And so I didn't have a clue about that. And it all kind of like came together in this intersection of like where this all made sense to me, because I thought I was just dysfunctional. I had a dysfunctional family. Addiction was just part of it. Like all of those things I just thought was who we were. And then I find out, oh my goodness, no, this is not just my family. There's a reason why this happened. And when I learned about the residential school, and actually it's how that system negatively impacted so many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities. And, you know, I don't want to go back into the past, but that was the truth. It's my truth. It's many Indigenous families' truths. And all I knew was, okay, that's how it was. This is where I am. And I really believed, and still do, that I could make a difference by just showing up. Because I'm like, I don't have any great skills. I'm like, I've been working for this food company. I know how to sell a product. So if I could figure out how to make that lip gloss and sell it, then I felt like I could use a portion of those profits to do something to support my Indigenous community. And that is literally the roots of it. And honestly, I love the origin story too, but I'm like, I can't believe how naive I was to believe that you could build something without knowing anything, and how hard it actually has been. Like, it's so hard.
But you know what? I think that was your greatest asset at that time.
For sure.
Because had you known, would you have done it?
I would never have done it. No.
Exactly.
No, never.
I always say that my ignorance is my greatest strength.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true.
And we can ask for forgiveness later and not permission, because and then what do we know, right?
Yeah. I'm just making mistakes, learning.
Oh, I love that. It's such a powerful story, and to connect it to what's happened to the generations before you, and then to better understand where you are, and then to want to do something for that greater community. I think it's really cool. It's a very powerful story, and it's a powerful example of what one person can do and the ripple effect of that one person.
Yeah, for sure. I really believe, because I've seen our Indigenous communities change over the last 10 years, because this was 10 years ago now. There is so much more people, and young and old, involved in entrepreneurship, working hard on building the thing that they're building. And that has grown. And I firmly do believe it's like a brand like Cheekbone that has gained a platform, has been a part of that. And that's something for sure that I'll always be proud of. And that's really still my personal mission, is like, I didn't have, and I felt as a young person, there was no Indigenous business that I could look up to. So if I could be here to do that for next generations, and, you know, show them that it really is about, when, you know, we are making these mistakes, but what I know I've done, and I'm sure you have, is like, we're learning from them. And then you pivot and you change, but you don't give up. Because it is, I always say this, as long as we don't give up, this will be successful. And it's really, at the end of the day, you hear a lot of entrepreneurial journeys, it's really about that tenacity to continue. Because it's hard. It's really hard. And I know you guys know this, that it's this constant roller coaster ride. And the only way it's going to end is if we get off. Right?
Yeah. I mean, what do I always say to my wife? I say, listen, when things don't go well, just remember, you're not as bad as you think. Keep going. But if things are really going well, don't think that's all us. It's a mix of luck. It's a mix of timing. And don't get all high and mighty. Just keep an even keel.
Yep.
Keep an even keel.
No, totally. I think the best founders, leaders recognize that. And you will hear it. Like, there's no way when people are like, how did you get on the shelves of Sephora? Luck. It's pure luck. It's timing and luck. It's not, I have no great skill. This is really, that's the truth, right?
But part of that is also being there to be lucky. Like what I always say is, well, so it's an interesting story about Asian people. Like not that I endorse gambling, but when I talk to people of my culture who gamble a lot, they'll say, I'm not gambling. I'm just following my destiny. If I'm going to win, I have to play. right? It's like,
Yeah.
If I'm destined for success, then I have to give my destiny a chance to succeed. Therefore, I'm going to the gambling table to give my chance to succeed.
I guess we can't argue with them because they're right. You got to
Well, you
be
can
in the
take
game. To
whatever
win
you
the
want
game,
out
you
of
got to
that.
be in the game, right?
True enough.
Exactly. And it's like people say, oh, I never win the lottery. But have you ever played the lottery?
Exactly. You gotta play the lottery, right? So,
Yeah.
So maybe we wouldn't gamble with that. But I mean, being in the room, there's something really important about showing up, being there. And I know sometimes it's exhausting because you feel like you're everywhere. But I do find that the more we are at events, the more we're present, the more we're having conversations. But I don't think I believe it's luck. I think it's just putting yourself in the room.
It's where the opportunity is for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's hard work meets opportunity, and I don't even like to call it luck. I feel like because you're in the right time at the right place, and it happens.
Exactly.
And we can't control so many things. There's so many things we cannot control. The craziest scenario for when I'm thinking past in our journey, our investors showed up during the pandemic when our numbers were off the charts. And we just started working together in 2019. And then I got a big second injection from them during the pandemic when our numbers were off the charts, which was an anomaly. That wasn't real. So what is that? It was just timing, but we were ready for it. Like
exactly.
how many people weren't ready on e-commerce to have a brand to just sell to people? And yeah, exactly. So we were ready for it and there for when that happened. And I share that because I know women in particular have a hard time getting capital and funding. So I have a lot of conversations and I'm a part of a lot of women organizations and entrepreneurship that people are like, where do you get the money? And I'm like, I don't have the answer. And the truth is, for my story is it's all like really serendipitous, honestly. Like we wouldn't have.
Yeah. And your story is it's when we have conversations with entrepreneurs, some people who are starting entrepreneurship think it's a black and white answer, but it's not a black and white answer. It's we may not have funding today, but it doesn't mean we won't have it tomorrow. Totally. Or the next year, the year after that.
Yeah.
So, just because it's not working today does not answer that question for weeks, months, years. And entrepreneurship, as we all know, is a journey towards something, not a black and white answer in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But let's talk about that a little bit more. They're now a B Corp certified brand, found in many retailers like Sephora and JCPenney. What are some of the hardest and most rewarding lessons you've learned in scaling ethically? That's the key word here, especially as a digitally native brand.
Okay. Well, the hardest thing is all of those things, much I think like the beginning days. I knew I wasn't even in my food world from my seafood days to my food restaurant days. I've never done retail. So that in itself has been a massive learning curve, and it's taken me way too long and our team too long, but definitely a process to understand the retail world and space. Sephora's, they have their own language, their own universe, if you will, and then you jump into JCPenney, and they have theirs as well. So you're working with and now we work with tons of like small independents, and then like the shopping channel and .ca and all of these places. Everybody speaks differently, and even how they talk in their business jargon, it's completely different technically to somebody else's. So that was a learning curve. Me understanding merchandising, no experience in that whatsoever. What is the customer going to see from the shelf? And thank goodness, again, got so fortunate by meeting Sid Lee, a creative agency at the time when we did. Fortunate in some ways, unfortunate in others. There's a lot of backstories to all the stories that I put out there. But our brand, you see it on a shelf and it pops. That was, their creative teams come in groups of 25 people. And can you imagine the juices flowing there? And they had this brilliant idea that you do lips, eyes, and face. Let's do all of those in a different color and make it bold. Let's stop with the millennial pink and mint green. Like, do you know what I mean? Like off-white. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. Like, we're talking about items and being a natural brand, but the truth is those bold colors are in nature too. And so that's what we were like, let's let that live off the shelf. And so learning from so many different people, and I'm really seeing like we had so much to learn, and I feel like we're finally getting it. And then understanding operationally how to work with these teams. Like, you don't know what's like if you're not getting the data from them, making sure you're getting all the correct data and information to make sure you can sell to them correctly and properly, and that the stores are really, their numbers are clear. And so many organizations use big different sort of SaaS equipment and models and machinery that doesn't necessarily always, everybody thinks the computer is correct, but we've learned it isn't. There's a mistake. We found it, right? And so we're like, you're saying you. So anyway, just learning all of that stuff, and I feel like that has taken us really long, but I feel like we're finally getting it, and then learning to celebrate the small stuff when stuff does happen.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, because it's really hard to do that, right? When I'm a salesperson through and through. And my motto is, you're only as good as your last sale. Like, I was like born with that mentality, which is so unhealthy. So unhealthy. It's so unhealthy to do this to ourselves. And I had to get better at it, because now there's people. We're a small team. There's only a couple of us, but still, I don't want them to feel that constant pressure, right? Of like, okay, let's enjoy this and then figure out the next thing. Yeah.
I think that's so important. I think we don't do that enough either in our company. I think
Size chunks,
so easy to just be like, okay, we did it. Next.
Yeah.
But really looking back and to see how far we've come.
Yeah.
And celebrating that, I think that's really powerful, because then it shows you what's possible for the next year, the next month, or whatever it is. Yeah. And it also creates momentum. So when you're in that energy, celebratory energy, I really feel like you can create more and better from that place. Yeah. But I do think we need to do that more. Yeah. That's really good advice.
So Jen, one of the things or conversations that I've had with brands that considered major retailers like Ulta and Sephora and actually Walmart, that's the original retailer that had a very aggressive policies toward the other brands. And the big fear among small brands was that could a retailer like Sephora end up killing us? Because, they're so big, we're so small. They expect you to behave in a way that sometimes it's detrimental to the small brands. For example, you might have to, shut off other sales channels to adhere to it. So when you were going into this relationship, was that a concern for you? And how did you kind of navigate that?
Yeah, really hard. I'm really, really grateful. I had great guidance, because Doug Langmuir, he sits on my board and is a mentor, founded by Beauty, sold it to Sephora back in 2014. And so I had all of his insights about how Sephora loves to position themselves through that, and especially bringing on an indie brand. And it was a major concern. And we did the exclusivity thing for sure. And I really do believe that it could be very detrimental to a brand to do that. And I think every brand story and path and relationships with Sephora is going to be very, very different. And so the brand has to figure that part out. Yeah. Crazy thing here though, which I haven't even talked to, we have a retail consultant that deals with Sephora and JCPenney for us for our majors. And I'm just I like to stay out of it and let them handle the relationship, and then only be there to really hang out and talk to them with the really important big stuff. When it's all the feel good stuff, that's the funner thing to do. And I wanted to have this conversation with them, because I think it's so interesting how the years that we did remain exclusive, we had very little growth. E-commerce felt like a struggle to grow. And certainly there's all kinds of other variables in play. We know the e-commerce world was tough, D2C for a while, depending on, all of your and so it felt the moment we've expanded, and this is only in the last 6 to 8 months, to be everywhere. That's our model right now. Is we will talk to anybody and everyone that, and if it works for our brand and it fits, then we're gonna sell our products there. I have seen our Sephora numbers grow.
Interesting.
Because that's brand
Not
awareness,
surprising.
right?
Yeah,
and it's just like, that's the customer needs to be triggered. And Sephora just doesn't have enough places for that triggering to happen, in particular on their next big thing shelves, which are very small, subdued, right? They're not like we know we're going to find our product, but they do blend. And that's the feedback we got from our community. They're like, it's really hard to find. And then I was like, well, is this why we're having such a struggle? And then the more places people have to swatch and buy your product, if Sephora is their place, they're going to do it. Maybe they will have found us in a boutique and swatched us there.
Yeah.
But they're going to add to cart at Sephora, right?
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
what I think all the big retailers and the independents have to understand is this is a team effort.
Yeah.
And if
Yes.
you really want to support an indie brand, we all have to be in this together, because one, we don't have the big budgets of the conglomerates to
Yes.
blow up a brand. We're not Hailey Bieber. What happened to their organization is not going to happen to an indie.
Exactly.
So an indie needs so much love and care, and I don't think one major can do it. I
Agreed.
fully believe that now. I feel like this is a community effort, and then it's up to the brand, so you and I, to build our communities of people that help the growth happen wherever they shop. And so some of our community loves Sephora, and some of them, they would be like, I would never go into a Sephora in a million years. Oh my God, I'm so happy you're in this wellness shop in my small town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
it's their belief system. You can't change people's belief systems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
so
No, I
true.
agree. We that's the same kind of profile that we see with Amazon. Amazon grows as we grow. It shrinks as we shrink. It's not being an Amazon is not it doesn't grow the business by being an Amazon. It's just a distribution channel.
Yes.
If whatever we're doing kind of floats out to wherever we are. And I think it's a great strategy you have.
And to be where, like, the truth is, we're small, and so we want to be where our people are, and our people are in all kinds of different places. And I really do get the understanding of, in the early days, being very laser focused and honed in on who you're targeting. But we've learned, like, we've done 10 years of the legwork now of we've learned that they're in everywhere. They're in we have a Sephora shopper, and then we have a wellness shopper, and then we have an Amazon shop. Like, so it's just understanding that they're literally in all these places. And why wouldn't we're not going to make it difficult for them to find our stuff. Yeah. We want it to be as easy as possible. Why do we think, like, when you now see those certain shop checkouts where it's just like the clicking of the button,
Yes.
like, people love their lives instead of having to input information again. And it's just, people want, and people don't change. Once they have a plan and a method, they're not changing.
Easy.
So we want them to be able to get.
The easier it is for them to reach you, the better. I agree.
Yeah.
I would agree with the Sephora too. Is that there are a few brands that I used to use years ago, and it wasn't easy to find, even in Sephora. So I would have to look, if I didn't know the name of it, or if I wasn't sure which one it was, I would have to go up and down the aisles, and then if I ran out of time, I would just leave.
Yes.
So it's actually inhibiting my ability to purchase. So having it in more places allows more access, and also the visibility. Like, the more you see something, the more you want to try it.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the prevailing wisdom for advertising says you've got to see something, a message or a brand, 7 to 10 times before it actually starts to register in your head.
Yes.
So So and that kind of plays out on our meta ads as well. When we advertise, the customer has to see that ad way more than 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Before they're like, oh, who are these guys? Let me see what they're all about. So it just takes repetition.
Oh, 100%. And we're never going to react, obviously, on the first time, and location and time and place. That becomes a big deal.
Exactly.
And so we've just learned the more places that people can, and especially, we're color. So swatching and shade matching is really important and critical.
That's a good point.
And
That's a
so
good point.
we just needed more places for people to be able to do that as well.
Even from when I've met, I think it was Ashley that I've met at some of the events.
Yeah.
And just having her knowledge, because she's a makeup artist, I believe.
Yes.
She's really well versed in makeup in general. So she's able to look at my face and say, this is the color you want. And she's bang on.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool to have, that visibility and also that skill set attached to it. And so people can more easily navigate the colors if they're not trying it on or rubbing it in their face.
And we have positioned ourselves as a brand that's here for the not like, what is it, like makeup guru. We're here for the person who wants simple makeup, doesn't necessarily even wear makeup all the time.
Yes.
And so, of course, we're going to have to help them with those things. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that because even like I love makeup, but I don't wear a lot of it. But what I wear, I want it to be like just so. I want it to do exactly what I want it to do, and I don't want it to be complicated. So just tell me what I need to do for this, for whatever it is that I want. Keep it simple.
Now, Jen, I've heard that men's makeup is starting to grow. Is that true?
I've heard this as well. Yeah. I've seen many brands pop up. So it's really interesting. Yeah. It's very popular.
I'm too old for that.
You're too old for that. 100% you are.
Can you imagine our kids? Daddy, what are you wearing?
No, I can't imagine you.
Bronzer.
Just a little brush.
A little sparkle to bring out your eyes.
Yeah, true that.
No. But I can see it happening in our kids' generation. It's very normal for them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Who knows, right?
I have a question, Jen, for you that's a little bit different. It's maybe logistical, but you say you have a small team, and so do we. And I'm wondering how you get through it all. How do you ask for help? Do you ask for help? And what advice can you give to someone who doesn't ask for help enough? How do you manage it all?
Yeah. Well, I'm probably not the best at asking for help, but then I've realized I need to be because poor Brianne on our team, I think it was last week, she said she was crying in the corner and then she finally broke and asked people, I need help with this. But it's like, we're all busy doing our things. And then she didn't recognize that, I'm going to lose it if I don't get help with this. And then we all talked about it and we're like, okay, that is waiting too long. Because even sometimes just getting the group and being like popping the thing that you're struggling with, then, or we could all be like, well, what can I take to help alleviate that? So yeah, I'm trying to get better at it so that I can help my team get better at it. And we are, what do I call this year for us? We are going to be profitable at the end of this year. It'll be our first year and we are scrappy, but we're also operationally trying to become like a well-oiled machine. So Brianne is our operations manager and rebuilding our operations from the ground up. That's what she's in the process of literally doing right now.
I love that.
And we had an ERP system added like 3 years ago. And so working within that SAP Business One plan to build out this new thing and to make, it's so much work. And I know why she cracked because it's just a ton, but it's like an exciting project because we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel right now of how it's just going to make us so much more efficient. And when we're talking about we're in an industry where like our components, you have to generally order like 10,000 is the minimum. I'd love to find someone to make less, but that's so hard. And then, negotiating like with our contract manufacturers, like negotiate, is it possible we don't really need 5,000 of these right now. Can we work with much we're in that space where we're really working and she's literally talked about it at our meeting on Tuesday. It was just like understanding every SKU and how we're going to just tighten them all up. And so it's just a really tough thing right now. So I recognized she needed help and I'm like, okay, we're here to help, but we all got to ask for help sooner. And it's just hard because you're in it and you know how busy everybody else is. So that's what she said. She's like, I'm like, but what you are doing is probably the biggest thing that's going on here right now. And it sucks because right now it's one of those things that there's no money, whereas the marketing sales team, we're all like, let's go for the money. And we're seeing immediate results. And she's stuck doing this thing that's like, next year is when we're going to see the glory of her work, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Having that patience.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting dichotomy, right? Because in the product business, especially in the beauty business, the number of SKUs you can offer a customer directly translates into sales and revenue. Because in our industry, people love new things.
I know.
But that is also the detriment, because SKU proliferation is the biggest problem that we also have, which is how come we have 200 products and 150 of them are not selling?
Yeah.
What do we do with them? Like, why do we have 200 SKUs? It's like this balancing act.
You know our thing. Like, it's the same situation where it's our industry in particular.
Yeah.
It's like you have these beautiful, loyal customers and you're like, okay, they just want something new, right?
Yeah, they just want something new.
So we want to make something new for them. And then you're like, why did I make something new? Yeah.
How many times? I love your stuff. What's new?
Yeah.
I love your stuff.
Yeah.
What's new?
Or can you make this? Just let us just whip it up.
Yeah.
You need this and we're missing that and I really need this. Can you make that?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
All the time.
But it's I don't fault these people because they actually want to buy it from you. So what an honor, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to support them and that love that they have for you. But without
It's hard.
going out of business.
Our joke, somebody wanted a colored mascara. And I was like, in one of my moods, I was like, go tell them to find 5,000 friends that are going to wear that same purple mascara, and then we will make it for her. I was like, if she can bring us 5,000 friends, she's got it.
Been
done.
I would do whatever you want with your 5,000 friends.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think one of the challenges Peter and I have is we both think we do what we do the best and no one else can do it better. And that's a crutch. That's one of our greatest faults.
Yeah, probably.
Because we can't grow if we're the ones doing everything.
Have you ever read Good to Great?
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
I did 10 years ago, and someone told me just to reread it, and it's kind of blowing my mind right now.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's all about the problem is the people in the seats.
Yes, okay. I'm going to read that.
Read it. I have not read it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have it?
It's somewhere in my library. I'm going to have to, I think I gave it away, but it's the second part of the phrase I always say, which is great is the enemy of good and done is better than perfect. So it's part of that vernacular. But I remember thinking it was pretty powerful. I'm gonna have to reread it again. You're right, Jen. Every time you kind of grow and then you read something, you go backwards. You're like, oh,
it changes.
That's what that meant.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with
100%.
you.
And there's a few books that I've read over the years more than once, and I hadn't gone back to this one. And then I heard somebody else say they reread it again, and it was kind of mind blowing because you're like, I read it before Cheekbone was even an idea, right?
Yeah.
I read it, I think the same year I read Blue Ocean Strategy, which is another great book.
Well, you're an old sales rep. I'm an old sales rep. Like we were both in sales. So we've probably read all these sales books, and, the time management books.
But now that you're running the company, it's like, a different perspective, right?
It's a different perspective, for sure.
Different.
Yeah.
So true. True. Jen, I want to spend some time on your philanthropic book.
Oh,
It's
yay.
big. So you've donated over $250,000 to causes and consistently speak out on social impact. How do you balance profitability and purpose? And what advice would you give to founders struggling with that tension?
It's a great question because I feel like I'm in a position now where I'm like, should we have been doing this much? Or should I have just been focusing on building the business? Like, I would have been profitable a heck of a lot sooner had we not focused on that. Or would I? Or would have people cared? So it's like you kind of don't know the chicken before the I don't know. All I know for sure is what drives me personally is to have purpose built within the brand. And the people that work for Cheekbone, when I just did our annual reviews with the team in May, and usually April. So we're really delayed this year. And everyone talks about how great it is to work here because of the work that we do in terms of giving back.
Amazing.
And so they feel meaning in their jobs. And so it really matters to them. So we've done all these things, and maybe we would have been profitable a lot sooner. But the B Corp mentality, and it's actually, this is a very Indigenous worldview as well, is this whole idea of that you can have a successful, thriving business, give back, be profitable, but not to the extent of like, I think we live in a world where it's like those stakeholder dollars are all that matters. And we're lucky as small businesses that we don't have to operate like that.
Yeah.
Like we just don't. Like we're not beholden to writing fat checks for people, and they're going to demand that from us. And thankfully, we took on investment, but we took it from an Indigenous-led social impact fund.
I love that.
So our work together is a 10-year project. It wasn't 5 years. We want a 10x. Like the mentality has always been different. And so for now, we get to do this. And I don't know if that'll always be true, because when Raven wants an exit, which they will at some point, who is going to take their place is a challenge when I think about it. So I don't think too deeply about it right now, because that's a problem for later. I do know our values and principles that built the brand will always be with the brand as long as I'm with the brand.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be the facts. And then I can't, because people have always said, well, what you've taken on investment, that means you're going to exit at some point. And I go, that is like one of those, it's not black and white. You just don't know what all of that is going to look like at one day. And the truth is, my mission has always been to grow this really, really big globally, so that Indigenous people around the world will know that their people built this brand. So, and the more I get to travel and feel that, I'm really excited. I'm going on a trade mission to Japan in August with the Canadian.
So excited for that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Osaka is the World Expo right now, and we're going to Tokyo, and then we're going to Sapporo, where there is a small community of Ainu people, and these are the Indigenous people of Japan.
Yeah, Ainu,
Yeah, and I'm so excited because we're going to get to spend some time with them. And it just makes me, when I think about the mission that I've always had, I was like, this is a global thing. Like all of our lands were colonized. We all share that story, but we all come from this beautiful culture that had different languages. And in Japan, the story of colonization is really different because it happened not too long ago. It was only like in the late 1800s.
That's right.
Yeah. And so I'm just fascinated that this exists globally, and that I'm going to get to meet people from different communities where this really will matter to them. Other Indigenous Japanese people that have businesses as well. So I think it's exciting.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm so
this
excited.
Is so good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then, of course, going to Japan, where we know skincare is epic as well, right? So you're like,
of course.
And one of our first visits is to Shiseido.
Oh, Shiseido, nice.
Their headquarters in Tokyo. And so I'm really pumped to visit that. And they've been in beauty for, 150 years? Yeah.
Long time. Yeah.
And buy sunscreen, because I know you guys have great sunscreen, but people are like, you have to buy Japanese sunscreen. I was like, okay, I'll check it out while I'm there.
You have to try it. Well, you're there. You have to try it.
I'm bringing, I never check a bag, but I already know I'm going to be checking a bag to bring products back.
Whenever we go to Asia, I would always end up buying another bag.
I bet you, I was going to ask you about that.
You can't do without. You just have to accept it. It's part of the trip. It's part of the trip.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that I feel this impact coming from you. So I can only imagine. It feels in a way to me like this is your purpose. Like this is your soul's purpose. And that dream was sort of like the universe's way of implanting it in your mind. And just going for it. And it's sort of helping you and steering you along the way.
It's made my life so much more better than I would have ever even imagined. I can't tell you.
That.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Well, I'm sitting here all impressed and ready to go because my normal state is to say, okay, let's go to the office, call it a day, go home, exercise, sleep. I like routine. And then I'm hearing Jen like, I gotta go to Japan. I'm gonna do this. I'm like, what am I doing? I gotta go to Korea. We gotta do this time.
Yes. I want to go to Korea next. That's like, when you
Yeah.
guys go, I want to come. I'm just
We're
kidding.
in a phase. Like, we're supposed to go to Korea in September. And truthfully, we've been hesitating.
'Cause you're so busy.
My kids are little. And when we leave them, especially my daughter, who's 3, it's really hard for her. Like, it takes her weeks to recover after we come back. So I'm always caught in the middle between, I really want to go to Korea. I want to try all these things. I want to learn and grow and expand the company too. But I'm also like, but I'm still mom.
And that mom
I'm at a
guilt is
phase
brutal.
where that
Yeah.
really matters to them.
Yeah.
So
You have to
we
do
could-
what is right for you and your family, no matter what. Yeah, that
And
is.
that's
The
hard.
mom guilt is hard. But
Yeah.
I will tell you, my kids are 23 and 20. And I know kids, I don't like to say, like, when they're, all of the ages matter, like they all do. And I feel like they need you at every age. So it's always about figuring out what works. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
And you can't take her with you, right?
I thought about it.
That's like,
I don't think it's a good idea, but
yeah, because she'll have
I did think about
school.
it, and I thought, okay, can we hire someone? Can we bring her parents? Because Peter's mom and dad they speak Korean better than they speak English, so
Yeah.
this would be perfect. But they don't want to go. They don't want to go back
No.
to Korea.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure it out. But I definitely do have that ping pong. I want to go. I shouldn't go. I want to go. I shouldn't go.
Well, I find I need, when I get stuck in the mundane, as you were saying that, Peter, like I have routine schedule, but then I need moments where I get inspired, especially as founders. And maybe it doesn't have to be both of you.
That's probably what's going to happen.
That
Yeah.
is
Yeah, it's going to have to be one of us. Because
Yeah.
we do need to make a trip to visit our suppliers.
And they're always, and if you're not there, I know this with ours, when I go to Italy, it's like we have to be there to see all the stuff that's
Absolutely.
happening.
Yes.
They will show you the secret stuff they're working on. They will show
You gotta do
you
it.
new ingredients that they've found out. Like you have to be there to get that. And it's you don't get it just sitting. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And
And it
espe-
builds your relationship with them
Well,
too.
especially the Koreans. I mean, in Korea, they still expect us to exchange business cards. Here, business
Yes.
cards are no longer a thing. But over there, if you don't have a business card to give them, it's an insult.
Yeah.
Because every business meeting starts with a bow
Yeah.
and an exchange of the business card with both hands.
I've learned. I
Right?
was in my training this week.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very it's
Does it matter
ingrained-
what the card looks like? This is what I'm curious about.
No, I
No.
don't think it
I don't
does.
think it matters.
I think as long as you go through the process, like it's a ritual
Yeah.
for these
Yes.
people, right? I mean, Japan is a country where they have a ritual for brewing tea.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
it.
there's like the ceremony. So it's a set ceremony for a business plan meeting to take place. And if you don't have a business card, it's very insulting to them.
Yeah.
So we still keep business cards just for Korea.
Yeah.
Just for Korea. And
Do
we
you
got
have
to
a
do it.
business card, Jen?
I do. Yeah.
We probably haven't,
It's
you
odd
probably
as-
haven't touched most
No,
of it, right?
the box is full, but I have it. They're like, bring all of them to Japan. You're going to need them. I'm like, really?
Oh, you're going to need them.
Yeah.
We'll use them
They
all
expect
there.
it. They
Yeah.
expect it.
But you know what I really appreciate is the detail in their practice. And then you said this is like
Yes.
ceremony. And for
Yeah.
Indigenous people, everything we do is very
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
purposeful
That's right.
and meaningful.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really
Yes.
get that. And I appreciate those things, right? I feel like there's just so much we think of how busy we are doing everything that we don't take
Yeah.
time to stop and think about stuff.
Well,
like
I mean,
that
And be
sometimes.
present to
Yeah,
what we're doing
yeah.
at that moment. And
Yeah.
We're
enjoy
all
it.
right now. The whole big buzzword is being present in the moment.
Yeah.
being in the moment. And the Japanese and Koreans, Japanese more so, everything is about being present in that moment, being immersed in the process of even making your own bed.
I love
There's
that.
a specific way that you make your own bed. There's a specific way you say thank you before you eat. Itadakimasu. Everything has a ceremony and a process to it.
I love
and they
that.
adhere to it. It's amazing.
I
It's
love
absolutely
that.
Did you know, Jen, that in professional sports games and events in Japan, actually even around the world, the process that the Japanese fans go through is that after the game, they clean up after themselves.
Oh, wow.
So if you're 50,000 people in a stadium, let's say they're, eating popcorn, drinks, etc.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, everyone stands up. Everyone has a garbage bag, and they basically clean up after the stands before they leave, so that the stadium is spick and span clean.
Wow.
that's
That
a
is
process they'll
impressive.
go through. That's
we
impressive.
were told to carry a small little bag for garbage
Yes.
in our stuff with
Yes.
us because there will not be like trash
There's no
bins
garbage
everywhere.
cans. Yeah.
But
So most
It
people
is
will.
so clean.
Yeah,
I
so
love
most people
that.
will eat like a yogurt or a sandwich. They will stuff it inside their bag and they'll carry it with them to dispose of later.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
That's
I'm
really
very
cool.
excited. I'm just so excited.
I'm
Yeah.
excited
Can't
for
wait to
you.
follow
Thank
this
you.
trip. It's going to be amazing.
It's good. I'm very, I'm really honored to have been chosen. It's a mission with 6 other Indigenous women entrepreneurs.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's
really cool. Yeah.
I can't wait to see more about that. That's
Yeah. It'll be
something.
fun.
Jen, you have had many high-profile moments, but what personal milestone are you most proud of? And what's next for you in Cheekbone?
Wow. Well, I will say, none of this, like for me, like this is a super personal because it's sobriety. Like that, I was a true alcoholic, and I would not be alive had I not been able to quit. And it really, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. It feels like if an addiction, a real addiction, is like you're losing, like it's a limb, it's a part of you. And the fact that I live now and I know so many people in addiction have cravings and all those things. And for me, this is all thanks to the glory of God or whatever people want to call them. But for me, it is the creator of this entire universe, God. And it's how I got through this. And it's very, very powerful that that's a part of my life. And so grateful for that. Cheekbone doesn't exist. Nothing exists without that power. And I couldn't have done it without the support of a higher being. And it's really built my faith, that's for sure, because I was doubting for a long time that it was possible. Yeah, it was really
There are
magic.
moments in life where if you are someone who is unsure and things happen and you just say, okay, now I believe.
Yeah.
And
It's done.
it's a wild situation, and I'm writing about it in the book that we're writing right now at Cheekbone, and this is part of the story is just, people often ask, they like, how did you stop? And especially someone with addiction, because I know I used to look at people and be like, how did you stop? And I tried AA, I went to rehab, I tried every possible thing, and it wasn't until the day when I finally literally was admitting to God that I had a problem, and I knew it was a problem, and I knew I was going to die and lose everything if I didn't stop. And I finally admitted that I couldn't do it on my own because I'm such an independent person that maybe in my head I believed I always could do it on my own. And I finally admitted that, and then literally woke up the next day, and for 6 months, no cravings, was living and have this dream 2 months after that, and living this great life. And then all of a sudden, in June of 2015, I'm at my husband wins a big work award, and we're in Montauk in New York City at these big fancy events, and there's alcohol flowing, and I'm literally no cravings whatsoever. It was amazing. And I'm like, wow, how is this happening? And obviously in so much gratitude for this not bothering me. But all of a sudden I'm at this place, and now I'm getting cravings for alcohol. And I'm like, what is going on? So that's this last night, and we're at this big gala at this event, and I'm literally talking to God saying, you've clearly given up on me. This is over. I'm done. Jen Harper has no control here. And that server, she was coming over with a tray of champagne. And I'm like, when she comes over, I'm going to take a glass of that champagne, because whatever you did for 6 months, that you've ended that. And I guess thanks for the 6 months.
Thanks for that.
But this is it. And
This is fun.
she comes over and she looks me and she says to me, she's like, oh, here, I know you'll really enjoy one of these champagne mocktails this evening. That it was completely alcohol free. And it was almost, I felt literally up my spine. And I was it was God, I have your back and I will forever. And never since then have I ever had a craving for alcohol.
Did you ask her if
No.
Why did you ask me? Really?
Yeah. So that I was like, that can't be like,
That's
and
it.
my belief and faith system is telling me that was God telling me that I will always have your back. And no one's going to ever change my mind about that, right?
Incredible.
Yeah. And I talk to so many other alcoholics that still struggle with cravings. And I'm just like, I don't. And thank goodness, because I couldn't handle it. If I did, I would fail. Yeah. Yeah. But it was like that moment for me. I recognize it was me believing that I couldn't do it on my own. And that's, when we go back to asking for help, sometimes I'm reminded of that. I was like, nope, you need to ask for help. When you need help, you got to ask for it. Yeah.
And when you ask to receive, and it's not always in the way that you intended.
Never.
But it is in the way that you need it in that moment. And if you trust that, then you'll always be protected in some way. I feel like the question I always ask from that place is, if I couldn't fail, what could I do? What could be possible for me?
Yeah.
And I just always say that to myself. I'm protected, I'm guided, I know that I'm on the right path. And if I can never fail, what could I do? What could be possible?
I love that.
So.
And I'm most grateful for this and proud of this because it makes me a better mom, a better wife, a better citizen, a better daughter. Like, it makes me just better at everything because I get to live this life now where I have a clear head and I feel like I have a purpose in society. And to share with people, it's so interesting, the people that have come in and out of my life where I can share this experience privately to support someone who might need it, because I knew in my darkest days, all I wanted was someone to say that it's possible. And I felt like I could. And that's why I'm not an I did AA, but I'm just not an advocate for it, because I felt like in those spaces I was hidden and ashamed and so many things. And I know we all have different views of how we get well, and some things work for some people and some not. And for me, being able to speak about it most certainly has helped me heal as well.
That's amazing.
Jen, as I listen to you talk and being in the podcast today, I keep envisioning that you're a boulder and you started rolling from the top of the hill and you're getting faster and faster and faster, and the momentum is building and building and building, and the best things are way ahead for you, and you're going to build so much speed and so much momentum, because the momentum that you're building is very, very crystal clear coming across the screen for me. It's like you have so much momentum building for you right now. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I feel like we're just getting started, and it is 10 years in, but it does feel that way. But thank you. I feel like I need an art piece that looks like that or something, right? Because what a cool visual.
You're rolling.
Yeah.
You're rolling.
Yeah. I have one more question for you, and I was going to skip it, but I think it's important because a lot of people who are listening, I think, will benefit from it. So many women, they hold back from starting something new because they feel unqualified, unworthy, like they need more training before they can begin. What would you say to that woman, or anyone really who's listening right now, who has a dream on his or her heart but doesn't feel ready, quote unquote, or enough to bring it to life?
Yeah, they're most certainly enough. Ready is, that is like a perspective, right? And I think Nike always just has it with the best slogan in the world, that it's just do it. You just do it. Because it's just so wild to me when I look back over these 10 years and go, I had no idea what was coming. And when Peter's now talking about this folder, like the things that have happened along the way, I had no idea from that year of 2015 of what was to come. And it's just like the best things are waiting for you. And when someone has that in them, that they really want to do this thing, like there's so much passion behind that and so much in that if it's not leaving you, like, you have to do it. You do. It's being put there for you. That's your thing. You need to be the one to go do it. Yeah. So just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's on your heart, then there's a reason that it's there.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't be there if there wasn't some other higher power nudging you, like to do.
100%. Yeah. It's
I love
there.
that. Jen,
yeah.
Thank you so much. What a powerful conversation with this incredible
Thank you.
Jen Harper. I'm so grateful that we got to hang out with you today.
I love hanging out with you guys.
Her story reminds us that true leadership isn't just about building a successful brand. It's about staying rooted in purpose, standing firm in your values, and lifting others as you rise. I hope you enjoyed this episode today, and thank you, Jen, so much for giving us your time. Thanks for listening to Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our show. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share this podcast with someone you think would love it. Until next time, love yourself, love one another, and love the world.